we're all happy, right? All right, so our lunchtime speaker, he has probably one of the coolest jobs ever. His actual title is Vice President of Ideas. Is that not the coolest title ever? Vice President of Ideas, really. I mean, wow. For Joel Comm's company. Like, how fun is that? So, Infomedia Incorporated, he's co-host of Joel Com Live, if you've ever seen their broadcast. It's fabulous. It's a great broadcast.
Thank you.
I love the energy you guys bring. And his expertise is idea generation. Idea generation. He's going to teach us today how to increase our creativity, find new revenue and traffic streams, and turn our ideas into sellable products. Aren't you glad you're here? Welcome, Dan Nickerson.
All right.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. No stage. I'm going to steal a glass of water first, if no one minds. I'll give you a little background about me. I born and raised in the state of Maine. You from Maine?
Hey, all right.
In 1994, I was bartending at a little bar called Harpoon Willie's in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, my favorite spot in the world. And a guy was sitting across from me, and he said, "Do you know anybody that makes websites?" And I'm like, not really, no, but I could probably make one for you. What are you looking for? So he tells me what he's looking for. He goes, "What are you going to charge? What would you charge me?" I'm like, $2,000. This is 1994. He reaches in his pocket, pulls out a checkbook, writes me a check for $2,000, said, "Here you go." That was the first website that I made. 3 years later, I had an idea for a little text link program in 1997, so I started a company called LinkOp. And LinkOp was the first text link ad system really on the web. And basically, my business model was Google AdSense, and I was doing it in 1997. Company grew. I had offices in LA, New York, Boston, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And then in 2001, .com bust, out of business. So I created other programs throughout the years, like Exit Express, which you know the popular $7 script. I was doing that in 2001. I had my own script that did what the $7 script does. In 2001, I had a traffic program called Traffic Sweeps, which was pretty popular for a while. And from there on, I just created all different kinds of websites. I've got 100 and so websites. In 2005, I had an idea to create a geo affiliate program, and that was basically do Yahoo but getting paid for it. So I created a little program called GotZip, and it was a program where I sold zip codes for $20 a year, and then when you came into my shopping sites as a customer, you'd have to enter your zip code, which then was tacked on as a sub-ID for every affiliate product on my sites. So basically, a person in a local bar or a local health club could tell someone to go buy something at one of my websites, and that person would enter their zip code, and they could buy any one of 1 million products. It would track to the zip code, and they would get a commission. So it was do Yahoo, but you'd get paid for it, because you'd own the territory that you lived in. Didn't take off that great, but Joel Comm liked it enough to write an ebook about it, and that's sort of how Joel Comm and I became friends. And then 2 years later, after exchanging instant messages all the time and bouncing ideas back and forth, he said, "Why don't you come work for me, be my in-house JV partner?" So I was hired to basically come in and create products for Joel Comm and his company, and basically I was a JV share. And so since that time, things I've created for Joel Comm have been like My Contact Station was the first one, Script Dojo, which is a review site, things, everything from TwitPower, which we just launched, which is a URL redirect service, that was mine. I keep thinking of all these other ones that you guys probably haven't heard of because we do so many different things. But there are, Instant Form Pro was something, that was actually a JV deal where I discovered this fantastic form software on the web, and the guy didn't have an affiliate program. So I emailed him, and as you do when you email people, you don't want them to know who you work for or what you do because they're going to try to get you to pay way too much. I did a private email address, and I said that I would like to help you start an affiliate program. I'd like to be an affiliate for you. And he said, not interested, not interested. I respond back, okay, I'm really vice president of ideas for Joel Comm's company, Infomedia. We'd like to do a JV with you. And he was all over it. So then, wanted to do anything he could to work with us. So I gave him a list of 20 or so different things we wanted added to the software to help it appeal more to marketers. So we then turned around, and within 3 months, we relaunched the software, and made a couple $100,000 off selling that software, and it still sells, 2 or 3 units a day from that. One of the biggest successes we've had recently, I don't know if everyone has heard about this, but we got into iPhone apps. I came up with an iPhone app called iVote, which is one of the most popular survey apps anywhere out there. We have 50,000 users voting every day. They voted over 7 million times. And they're generating almost 30,000 comments a day on the system. and it's basically the biggest survey in the world on your phone. And obviously the data is extremely valuable, and we're working in that direction to do things with the data. And then August of this year, we had a brainstorming session about creating iPhone apps, and we were trying to think of what's funny, what would sell. And verily, we're a bunch of guys, and so the subject of farts came up. Is there anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about at the moment? From that, we created, what's that?
The subject of what?
Farts.
Farts?
Farts.
Yeah.
There is money in making people laugh. Farts are funny. And we created an iPhone app.
That's tweetable. Farts are funny.
Yes, it's very tweetable. So we ended up creating an iPhone app, and the day we were getting ready to submit it to the App Store, another app got rejected from the App Store for basically the same sort of genre. So we held off. A month later, we submitted it. On December 12th, it got approved by Apple. Some say it was my very funny copy. Some say it was my very funny names that I came up with for all these different flatulence. But basically within 10 days, it became number one in the App Store. It's now sold over 400,000 units at 99 cents a piece. So it's been in the New York Times Magazine, Wired, CNN, MSNBC, CNN, Mashable does stories on all the time. Gizmodo just did a story. Bloomberg did a story yesterday. Anyhow, you go where it makes you laugh, what's universal, those kind of things can really sell. So anyhow, what I'm here to talk about today is ideation, which is an actual word, which means idea generation. And my little spin on that and how to be more creative is to think about the things, or use words that end in T-I-O-N. It's going to sound crazy, but the biggest source of ideas is, number one, frustration. Think about what frustrates you. And those are things that will help you generate ideas, because if it frustrates you, it frustrates a million other people. And from that frustration is the birth of a lot of the great ideas around. And I'm actually working on a book right now based on all this stuff, so please don't take these ideas and run with them, because I am working on a book. There are all these different words, and I actually started writing some of them down. And this is my PowerPoint, version 1.0. Frustration, perspiration, inspiration, observation. Let's talk about that. Perspiration, whatever makes somebody sweat, they'll buy. In other words, they don't want to sweat. People don't want to work. They want the easy way out. So if you can find an easy way for them to do something that's normally frustrating and makes them perspire, then there's a great idea there. Observation, looking at people. What kind of behaviors are they doing? How are they eating their lunch? How are they putting their forks and silverware down? How are they drinking? Observing that in your own particular niche, and finding what people are questions are coming in. Every single day you get emails from customers who are asking you things, and you have to say to yourself, why did they ask me that? Well, number one reason they asked me that is because I didn't have that information on my website, so they have to email me to find out that information. The number two reason is because they don't have the education that should be available, or they don't know how to find it online. So observing what your customers are doing, same with behaviors on their website. When you see those little exit pops that ask people, the little fake virtual operators, that's observation. You're observing them, asking them questions, finding out why they didn't buy. And from that, you not only get ideas to help your existing product, you get ideas for new products. It's just a wealth of information. And so observing your customer's behavior, great way to generate ideas for new products. Explanation. It's the source of most internet marketing money is because they explain something. They show you tutorials. They'll teach you how to do something simpler, and people love it. And if the simpler and more detailed and step-by-step you can explain it, the better product you can have. There are thousands of products out there that could be improved 100-fold just by taking the basic steps to explain it better for people, because it's too confusing. So explanation is a huge one. Caution is another one. Once again, these are all words that end in T-I-O-N. And caution is anything that makes you step back. I don't want to do that. It could be a security thing on a website. I'm not going to buy from this website because of this. Well, why is that? Why aren't you buying? Overcome those objections, another word, and do that. So anything that makes you hesitate, there's a product in that. Once again, you need to apply all these to your niche and think about how your niche revolves around that. What is it about your niche? Is it something dangerous in your niche? Something that concerns people in your niche? Whatever makes them stop and put up that caution flag before they buy. There might be a product that alleviates that concern, which enables them to then purchase your product or another product. Another idea is consumption. That is the best thing. What are people consuming? You know, if you can find a product that people is highly consumable, then that is the great idea. You know, we talk about little things like iVote. As far as a consumption product, it's people have to get their daily fix of iVote because they become addicted to answering questions. So every day we post 12 questions on basically every 2 hours we post a question, and there are literally 1,000 people who check their phone every time on the hour, 2 hours, so they can instantly vote and be the first one to comment on a thing. When you have a product that's highly consumable that people have to have every day or every week, every month, then that obviously is a great way to do a product. Concentration is another word. Concentration is, think about how focus is a huge problem. One of the reasons why I went to work for Joel Comm was because I could not concentrate on one idea. I would get one idea, I'm like, this is great. I'd work on it for 3 days, I'd get the site up, I'd do everything, oh wait, another idea. I could not concentrate on one idea. If you can find a way to help people focus instead of being overwhelmed with everything they're doing and all these different mixed messages, concentrate all your efforts on one particular idea, then you can find new products based on that sort of, it's like a micro niche. Concentration on one little area is a great way to generate new product ideas. Focus. Education, just like explanation, educational materials are a huge source of information. If you're on the web, I'm going to show you some ideas, by the way, some ways on the web to actually find out what people are looking for, but find out ways that you can teach people, find out ways that you can improve someone's education about a particular topic in your niche. Celebration is another one. Celebration is anything that brings joy to someone's life and celebrate. There are different things that people love to celebrate, whether it be holidays, seasonal things, family birthdays. Think about how that applies to your niche. Whether you have a gardening niche, think about how you could make a product that appeals to birthdays or holidays in your gardening niche. You know, you could do the best top flowers for Christmas, the top thing for that. Just think about how your niche appeals to that sort of area. Affection, another thing, what do people love? If people love something, whether it be pets or whether it be family or friends or picture or photography, think about the love people have for different ideas and how you can focus it. Once again, take all these little things and focus them all into one particular niche of something. So if someone has a love for something, if you have a love for something, then that's obviously a great way to generate idea for a product. Protection, once again with caution, find out how you can help someone with their personal protection, their identity protection, protection of their items. Those generate ideas. When you have a website, once again, these apply to all a website as well. Protection is a huge thing when it comes to somebody buying from you. You're going to get objections because they don't think your site's secure, they don't trust you, they don't have a Better Business Bureau logo on your site, you don't have testimonials. All those things help reinforce someone's thought to buy from you. So just think about how you can protect someone or provide sources of protection for an idea. And let's see here, I'm going to skip some of these here. Reduction. People talk about how they have too many bills, they have too many items. What kind of products do you create that help someone reduce the problems in their life or reduce things? So it could be a tool that helps people reduce the time they spend on something, a tool that helps someone reduce the money they spend on something, a tool that helps people reduce the amount of money that they're spending. So think about how you can do reduction. A reduction is a great source of an idea. Anything that helps someone eliminate a problem is a great idea. And so think about it from that aspect. How can you help someone eliminate a burden, a problem, a frustration? Substitution. This is the greatest source of ideas there is out there besides frustration. Substitution, and this is what I'm sort of really good at, is that substitute one aspect of a business for another aspect of a business. A lot of people get stuck thinking in one particular business mindset. Think about how something in the gardening niche might apply to something in the dog niche. I'm using those big examples because everybody does. Think about how you can use one aspect or one tool from some industry in your industry that no one else is doing. So we do this all the time. You look at how someone, the adult market is a perfect example of the fact that most of the great ideas in internet marketing, they start in the adult market, and then someone applies that technology into the real world market, and it happens every single day. So you can look at that and look at your existing business and look how it could be as simple what somebody's doing on a farm to save time, and you can say, how can I apply what he's doing on that farm to save time to this business to save time? And a lot of people don't look at that, but it's making those connections that generate all kinds of great ideas in this country and with entrepreneurs. They just find a way to substitute what someone is doing in this business, in this field, for doing it in this field. Find out what people are doing to maximize their profits in business A, apply it to business B. Simple as that. And of course, the last one I put on here was flatulation, just as a joke, because of the I fart. But what is funny? What makes people laugh? And those things, if you can make people laugh, you can bring them in. It's just, there are so many great ideas out there that just think out of the box. What makes you laugh? How can I apply what makes me laugh to an existing business of mine? I'm taking a sip of water here. Now, I want to talk about online inspiration, and there are sources to find what people want online that are just very easy out there, and they're yours for the taking. The first is like Yahoo Answers. Does everybody know what Yahoo Answers is? I mean, obviously, it's a great source of research where you can find out what people are asking about. But the thing I always look for is look for what people aren't answering. You know, when someone goes to Yahoo Answers, they're going there because of the fact they could not find that information easily online anywhere else. So by going to Yahoo Answers, they're hoping that someone's going to respond to them quickly and they're going to find an answer. There's a new service called KGB. You guys seen the commercials on Super Bowl, KGB, the Knowledge Generation Bureau? They're trying to do the same thing. They're trying to provide a quick answer to any kind of question. But what we should look for is people that aren't finding the answers. Because what happens is not only can you dominate for the keyword, like, you know, when I had the time, I would look for somebody and how their, you know, question they asked, and I would go find the answer. And I wouldn't necessarily post it on Yahoo Answers, which you can. I would just write a blog post about it and say, here is how you do this. And, you know, what happens? The reason that person posted it because it wasn't in the top 10 in Google, they couldn't find the answer easily. So within 2 weeks, what do you have? You have the #1 listing in Google for that question. That's helping other people. So not only as a source of generating traffic, but for generating ideas, you can just go and look all day long and find out what people's needs are. Someone says, I have this problem when this happens. And someone says, oh, here's a great solution for it. And all of a sudden you realize that solution may be it may be a tip, it might be something that no one else has ever written about, no one's ever written an ebook about, no one's ever done an audio interview about with an expert, and those kind of things. So you can look at all that stuff, take those questions, whether it be just pick some random field you're in, and just look for questions and find out the experts, see the people are answering, and ask them to do an audio interview with you, ask them to do a webinar with you, ask them to, would you be willing to write something on this for you for inclusion in my ebook? And you can literally email all those people that have answered and get them to participate and create a product out of it. You know, one perfect example is last year at JV Alert Live, we created a product from scratch in 90 minutes using the audience. I know Rhonda was here, Chris was here, I think Ken was here. Frank was here. And basically what we did was we used the audience. And we had, you know, let's create a JV product. So we had everybody submit their best joint venture tip in the audience. And then what we did, and they also submitted a bonus for the back end. And they also submitted a testimonial. And then we had groups of people that were copywriters, graphic designers. We had people that were doing headlines. And we took all that information, piled it all together into a sales page, installed the $7 script, and launched the product in 90 minutes. And Joel was sick that day, and he did a video, and we made a lot of sales from it. And we had the back end bonus was 36 bonuses from people that already had bonus pages set up because they were ready for that. One of the things you think about the fact that you have, if you have a list, if you have an Aweber account or whatever, and you have a product that you do giveaway, create a JV page where you can actually have a squeeze page linked to your product. And then when something like this happens, you know, you can say, oh, here's my squeeze page for the bonus. And you instantly can generate more leads because you have that ready to go. So always have a little thing. And then, you know, next time someone emails you and says, hey, I've got a launch, you know, would you promote for my launch? You said, sure. Would you like to add my bonus item here? In other words, here's my link. You can just add this to your sales flow, and then it's instantly there. And we have some late joiners here. And your name is, sir?
Sorry, Dan. Reagan, Ronald.
Well. All right, nobody touch my water. All right, so anyhow, the next one is like Google Trends. You know, you look at Google Trends, see what's trending. Google has a site, it tells you what's trending on Google, those kind of things. Great way to generate a product idea based on what's happening. You know, just look at the words, find out if they apply to your niche, and see if you can say, hey, well, obviously people are searching for this information, do some research. There's no ebooks out there. There's no audio interviews out there. There's no this out there. Immediately do blog posts about it, see what kind of traffic there is. You can also set up surveys on your sites for these kind of things to generate products. We have a product called Instant Form Pro. And Instant Form Pro allows you to create your own survey, basically unlimited questions easily within minutes. And you can use that to create a product. You can ask people to, answer your survey about this particular, what are your top 10 biggest problems in this niche? Get them to fill out these little essay questions, take all the information. And just like with, JV Alert Live last year, you could do that on a web-based system, and everybody could say, hey, what's your bonus? What's your best tip? What's your testimonial? Take all that information from that niche. You have your product, you have your sales page, and you have all the bonuses. And you can do it all with a form. It's a great way to create a product very quickly. So another one, I talked about Yahoo Answers. Forum questions is the same deal. How many times or how many people here have searched for something on Google, and they basically find a forum that someone asked a question, you click on the link, and you get there, and there's the question, there's no answer. Right? It happens every day. So first off, one thing you can do is, if you want to get a little exposure and more traffic, and if you don't necessarily have the answer right away, join that forum, respond back, I'm having the exact same problem, I really wish someone would address this, and then you have your signature line right there. So everybody else that's searching for the same problem is doing it. Then what you can do is you can use Instant Form Pro and actually create a link on there and say, hey, look, I'm actually, respond back a few days later, no one's answered this yet. If anybody can help me out, actually I create a little survey that's relevant to that particular topic, and then you'll get every single person in Google that was looking for that same solution will come in, read your post, and they might click on that link and actually fill out your survey to give you more information about why they were looking for that problem, the solution to that problem. And then, of course, if you find the answer, go back and post it. Then you get all that traffic as well. So just forum questions, great source of information. I don't care what niche you're in, there's anywhere from 12 to 1,000 forums on that particular topic where every single day people are asking questions, looking for answers, looking for help, looking for guidance. And there's a product, and probably 10% of those questions, there's a legitimate product probably in those. Twitter. Joel's going to talk about Twitter tomorrow. We're using Twitter more and more for search.twitter. Does everyone know about search.twitter.com? It's the greatest source of instant information like anywhere. And I talked a little bit about iFart, and we talked about iFart every day. I go on to Twitter and I type in the word iFart for search Twitter. Why? I want to find people that are talking about iFart. I want to be able to answer their questions. I want to be able to find out if they are making, I wish iFart had this. Then it gives you an idea for a new feature for a product. So literally, and then what you do is, of course, you reply back, hey, great comment, thank you. They said, we think iFart's stupid. And it's like, we think it's stupid too. Reply right back. Get interacting, and as they interact with you, their followers see that, and start following you, start buying the product, start asking questions. And literally, somebody talks about that on Twitter, like, it used to be every 5 minutes someone was talking about it, and now it's probably every hour. Every hour somebody talks about iFart on Twitter. And so you can do that for your niche. I don't care what your niche is, whether it's gardening, dogs. Once again, the standard examples I'm using, I reuse the same niche examples. Do a search. Find out tips. Find experts in the field. Start following them. Ask them, hey, look, I have a ebook on this subject. Would you leave me a testimonial? I have a new book coming out. Would you like to contribute a chapter to it? Use the power of Twitter to not only find what people are looking for, but to take that and find contacts and experts in your field who can generate testimonials, reviews, chapters, whatever you want for the product. There are some great keywords. What's the keyword, does anyone know, is what you said. We talked about something to search for on Twitter. Does anyone know, in quotes. And what are you going to find every single day? You're going to find someone who says, does anyone know how to do this, do that, do this? Yes?
Yeah, the other thing is, I don't know if you mentioned this or not, but now when people have conferences,
Yeah.
they have some event going on, they have a hashtag.
Right.
This could be JVA.
They've done that since the 70s, haven't they? They haven't done that since the 70s. Hashtag, it's a bad.
But the whole thing is in your search on Twitter,
Yeah.
you know the hashtag.
Right.
You see in your search the hashtag.
Right.
So go after searching on the hashtag, and you get all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff from whatever that event
Right. Yeah, right now they're talking about JV Alert, I'm sure, like crazy on Twitter, so. Yes,
Quick tip that's made me a ton of money. This will pay for your lunch.
we don't want those.
Search for how to.
Yeah,
And I use that in Google keyword tool all the time too. And then I write blog posts and I say how to whatever they're searching for.
Right.
And my post gets ranked #1. Like, for instance, I have the #1 slot in Google for how to start a business with no money. Found by searching how to. And then
Right.
if you want to be more specific, search how to plus something. Like how to business is a common one. How to gardening. How to
Yep.
how to any of that stuff. Those are huge and those will make you a ton of money.
yep. I actually have a domain, it'll be part of my close, but I have a domain called Best Sources Of. I own bestsourcesof.com. I've never done anything with it, but it's a great domain for bestsourcesof.com/whatever. Great keywords. Okay, getting back to online inspiration. Dig and Delicious, another source of online inspiration. Find out what people are talking about. What stories are rising in Dig? Why are those stories rising? If they're rising, it's because people want to know more about that topic. If you find a topic that doesn't have a lot of information, doesn't have an ebook or a video or an audio or anything like that, or a real blog to discuss that kind of topic, create it. There are probably tons of new technologies that come out every single day that are twittered about. Hey, this is the coolest, digged about. This is the coolest technology, and that's why I got 1,000 digs. But if you do a search on Google, there's nothing out there because the story just broke. So you can create a blog based around something you saw on Dig, and you could populate it with RSS feeds and stories and content just to get it out there. Be the first one in the space. Jump on it. Then from there, it could lead to a survey. We're saying, hey, what do you know about this? And take that survey information and make a product out of it. The Google Keyword Tool. We talked about Google Trends. The Google Keyword Tool, another great way to generate ideas. Long tail keywords. How many times have people use the Google Keyword Tool for research? Right? How many times have you seen, you put your 2 keywords in, all of a sudden you see like a 3 keyword word, and the third word makes no sense whatsoever at all. Like where did that word come from? But it's getting 6,000 searches a month or something like that. Find out what that is. Why is that connection? There's a product there. Because somebody, like I said, when they talked about substitution, somebody is making a connection between one field and the other field, and somehow those interconnect, and there's a product there. So every time you do a Google keyword search, look for things that seem out of place. And the fact that they seem out of place, it means that there's probably a small market out there that are using that in some way, shape, or form, and you can apply that to your business. Think seasonal. Talked a little bit when I talked about celebration. Seasonal is another thing in your aspect of your business. Start planning now for Christmas next year. Start planning for 4th of July, depending on your niche. Start planning for Father's Day, Mother's Day. How can you apply that to your business as a product? I don't care what niche you're in. People buy gifts probably in that niche for fathers and mothers. They might do something on a certain holiday that's relevant to your business. And most everybody says 3 days before the holiday, oh, I should have done something for the holiday. It's a holiday. I could have really marketed it. Start planning now for next year. Create a folder in your directory that just has for seasons, for special promotions. You make them 1 year now, then start applying them to your other businesses. And think about how you can apply all kinds of different niches to different holidays. And just don't think of the U.S. too. Think about other global holidays, depending on where your traffic's coming from and how you can apply that. What's that?
The holidays that you go with your business.
Yeah.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month is
Yeah,
October.
all that stuff. Start thinking about how you can tie in with all that. Even special donations, saying, as a press release, if it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month and you're donating $1 from every sale on your website, get a press release ready to go for Breast Cancer Awareness Month saying that so-and-so site is donating $1 for every sale. That once again, it's all about generating that. And from that, you'll generate new leads. You'll get other organizations, and you can issue press releases on your site as additional means of ensuring and adding additional value to your site and additional trust to your site, which will convert to more sales. Final one here is go offline. A lot of people don't do this. We'll go to the garden and dog niche again, depending on what your niche is. Go to the local nursery and ask them, hey, what do you think the hottest products are going to be this year, this fall, next spring, next year, this fall? What are the 10 most asked questions you get? Go in there and say, hey, look, I'm going to buy this $70 plant. Can you do me a favor? I have a form on my website that asks questions to nursery owners. Would you fill that out for me, please? And I'll buy this plant. Or you tell you what, fill that form out. I'll come right down and buy this for me. Go to 10 nurseries, and you can get 10 experts in 10 different nurseries to fill out a survey for you for $700 and you can make a product from it. That's a weird example, but you have to think outside the box, and that's a cliche, but think about how you can take offline information, whether it be a dog kennel, a nursery, go into the SPCA and say, what are the biggest concerns that people have with buying a pet from the SPCA? Write an article about that. Write an ebook about that. There are a million dog sites out there that are dying for content that you could spin that article 100 times and you could get on 100 different websites to drive traffic to your site. Okay. The next step is ask yourself, and this is just this is what I do more than anything else, is when I talked about all my ideation terms, asking yourself questions is the best way to generate new ideas. And a lot of people don't take the time to do it, and you don't have to be an idea guy to do this, but you just have to remind yourself to ask this about your business and where you're at. Number one question is, what frustrates you most about X? I don't care what it is. Take every single aspect of what you do all day long, whether it be website design, whether it be hosting, whether it be pay-per-click, whether it be AdSense, whether it be keyword research. What frustrates you most about it? And you start writing a list, and you'll start seeing this really frustrates me. Boy, I wish someone could fix that. It would be so easy to take an idea that would just solve that and save me time. The next question is, what features would you love to see? A lot of people just, how many times are you on a website and you think this service is so great if they just did this? We talk about Twitter. How cool would Twitter be if you had groups, where you could do groups and additional profiles and you could do different, people are making all these Twitter applications to do this now because Twitter's not doing it. But think about how cool it would be if you're into domaining or SEO, just to instantly be able to click a little SEO thing and then have another SEO thing pop up with all the SEO experts and all the best tips they have per day. If you're a domainer, you could have a private domainer group that has, hey, I want to list a domain. I don't want to go through Afternic. I don't want to go through Cedo. I don't want to go through all these things. I just want to go to Twitter and say, I want $500 for this domain. Boom. First person to respond gets it. So if you had a domainer kind of for Twitter, that would be a really cool thing. So people are creating all these things because Twitter's not doing it. So there are things about even Twitter that frustrate people. And those ideas are offshooting into hundreds of different businesses right now because people are saying, this frustrates me about Twitter. I wish Twitter had this. I'm going to make my own. And you're seeing it every single day. There's a new Twitter service coming out. TwitPower, of course, is the best. TWIT.PWR.com. This is another big one. What do you waste time doing? And I know we all waste time every single day doing something that frustrates us. And with features that we love to do. All these tie in together. So what do you waste time doing? Make a list down. I know I waste too much time. I waste too much time answering email. I waste too much time on Twitter, honestly, I do. I gave an idea to somebody the other day, and I just said that, think about how much time you spend searching and looking on Twitter and reading through all your tweets for your particular niche because you're trying to find information. I wish somebody would just do a resource where they would just take a 500-word synopsis of everything that went on in Twitter in this particular niche that day. So I can just go to a web page and read an article with all the best tips or links from my particular niche in that day. I would pay for that information because it's going to save me so much time and I don't have to worry about missing anything. It can all be organized by date. So the person I gave the idea to, I gave him the yesterday idea, it's a great idea. There's 1,000 niches you could do it in. You could charge a monthly fee for it. Take all the information you find on all these social networks, basically be the person that takes all the best stuff that people don't want to miss and put it all in one clean, concise thing that takes you 2 minutes to read and you're done. Next thing is, what is your competition doing? So ask yourself, what's your competition doing and why are they successful? And from that, you're going to develop new ways to build your business, possibly new ideas that you can implement and tie in with your business. And the biggest question is, what is your competition not doing? We talked a little bit about Instant Form Pro, where we found this survey software that was, fantastic, but it wasn't addressing the internet marketing niche. And so we knew that there would be a lot of features that would really add tremendous value to it. And so we took those and implemented them into software, which made it a great selling product because of the fact that we thought outside the box and we said, okay, our market, this is a great product, but it really needs this to be a fantastic product. So think about how you can apply that to your business. What is it you're not doing that you could do that would implement and increase your conversions, increase your sales? Then the most important thing once you have these ideas, and Joel's the one that taught me this, because I come up with a lot of ideas, and Joel's simple question is, what is the market for that idea? Because I'll come up with a lot of ideas that there's no market for, or the marketing is extremely difficult. A lot of people, especially at seminars, people come up and telling you an idea, and they're so excited about it, and in your head you think about, who's the market for that? Because of the fact that you have to think about it. Just because you love it, there might be 1,000 other people that love it, there might be 10,000 other people that love it, but that doesn't necessarily build a business. So you have to think about your time and resources, and before you jump into something, make sure you have a market for that product. And one way to find it is with a survey tool. Next question is, how do I make money with it? Right now we're big into iPhone app development, and we have whiteboards full of iPhone apps. But we're sitting there, we love this idea, we can't wait to do this idea. It's going to cost us $10,000 to develop that. How do we make money with it? Okay, we don't. All right, next idea. You have to look at your business that way and say, hey, it's a great idea, it's fun, but if I can't make money with it, maybe I shouldn't really proceed. Or maybe I'll be better off just using some of this as a bonus to what I'm doing. And the final question is, what is involved in getting it to market? If you might have a great idea for an iPhone app or for a piece of software product, but it might cost you $200,000 to get it made. Obviously, that's might not, depending on your personal situation, that's not going to be realistic to do. So you have to think about whether do I really want to go this full route, or do I want to find a JV partner, or do I want to find a simpler solution that is low cost, that will get me to market, and then I can build on that. So you have to ask yourself all those kind of questions from there. Okay, where are we at? We have half an hour or less? Yes. So I'm going to do what Joel has done this with me on stage a number of times, and basically it's an idea brainstorm. And what I'll do, you talk about being on the hot seat. If anybody would like to talk about a business problem they have or what they're looking for a solution from, you can tell me a little bit about yourself, what it is you're doing, and if you're looking for a new idea or something, we can talk about that. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about? This could be a tough crowd. Yes? Sure, stand up. Yeah. And Steve? Okay. That's all right.
Steve Ulrich, I'm a business coach focusing on social media, helping other people to get into it and to know why they're social media. So I kind of have looked to see that for those folks who are solopreneurs, they really haven't found for themselves a good model to be productive, to get the clients they want, to have systems in place that
Right.
actually propel them forward. Okay? That there's nothing out there right now that's an operational habits,
Right.
operational disciplines that say, for you, Dan, in the work that you do, and now utilizing social media for some of that work,
Mm-hmm.
what is it that you do every day on a repeatable basis? Not to give your business secrets away,
Right.
but there are some habits, operational habits that you do
Right.
that have been successful for you and have aided your success.
Right.
Okay? So I thought if I interviewed 5 to 6, 7 people, that I could offer that as a series of MP3s, downloads, for people to get a sense of, here are some people you can model from
Right.
who have some systems in place and some repeatable behaviors. You give a workbook with it so they can kind of get some handles and clarity for themselves, and also recognizing that there's not one person that they may be totally in line with, like your habits, your disciplines,
Right.
may not totally resonate with me. But it's like a Chinese menu. Maybe one thing that you do is really good. One thing that Felicia does is really good. One thing that Bob does is really good. And I can kind of model some of that.
Right.
To put those in place.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a huge market right now especially for businesses. We have a book coming out called Twitter Power, and a lot of businesses coming online, and they don't necessarily know what they should do, the best practices, how they should get started, and I don't care what marketer tells you, there's no set way yet. A lot of people are just flying at the seat of their pants, doing stuff, spending time here on Facebook, on Twitter.
But there's models though.
Right. I'm getting to that. What I'm going to say is that there is a market for that, and what you could do is, we talked about the guides and the steps, is make it simple, make a web page. It could start off with a simple web page with a survey. If you have a blog related to this, you could say that the 10 steps every marketer must know about social media, or the 10 steps every marketer must do, and then use a survey tool to generate more ideas. Let them give. You could do your own thing. Actually, I forgot. This is a crazy idea I had the other day. I have a new site called, and I'm not going to digress too far, but I have a site called newbiereport.com. I've had for a long time, and I'm in the process of getting rid of all my sites, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. But on Newbie Report, I like, and I want to do a newbie blog. And there's all these articles out there, like 11 ways to do this, 9 ways to do this, 37 ways to do that. So if I find an article that says 37 ways to do this, I'm going to do 38 ways to do this. I'm going to add one way myself. Oh, by the way, for the rest of the 38 ways, here you go. Here's a link. So you instantly can create 100 different articles with that same title. You give your best tip, and then you link off to that person's article, and you have the headline that draws them in. So what I'm getting at with the social media thing, you have to go and find out. Everybody's doing different things. Joel has all kinds of different tools he uses to get notified of things, to take action. Me personally, I'll just hop on Twitter like every couple hours and see what's going on, but that's not a method. And so if you can develop, if you can develop a method.
No, not just for social media.
Right.
It's a matter of people are successful, whether it's internet marketing, whether it's coaching, whatever the business is.
Right.
That they're using social media in some part of their business. Not that they're a social media expert, not that their business is all around, the Twitter handbook or something like that.
Right.
But they're using it as an element of their marketing, along with other methods. But what are the repeatable behaviors that, like I know one guy gets up every morning, the first thing he does is check his websites.
Right.
Somebody else may not do that. You may do it in the afternoon, you may not do it every day.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that won't even check their email. Everybody's got a different habit. So like you said, you have to survey, and the best thing you can do is create a product based on the survey, saying I polled X number of people, and this is what they do. This is what they do.
Actually, have questions for these folks.
Right.
To have them, kind of, like elucidate to describe really what they do. Not that it's taking their business model to share with you.
Right.
Like, have these behaviors you just look like every day.
Yeah. The thing to remember too is that people want clear, concise. The Twitter generation is 140 characters or less. I joked on our show the other day because I said, we should do a site called Twitter Classics, and you just have all the classic books in 140 characters or less. So yeah. So one of our viewers, of course, immediately registered it and said, hey, it's yours if you want it. But people want that quickly digestible information. So what I'm getting at is in all your research that you do, if you can create sort of whatever would be a flashcard or a social media index cards that give you those 5 steps that you have to know about that particular thing on a daily action list, if you can create a quick, short, concise, fast video series, bullet points, those kind of things, and use data from your interviews with other people. People are not going to read long-winded things anymore. They will, but for the most part, they want quick stuff.
An audio series?
They'll buy it. What I'm getting at is that just if you can condense that all down, social media is all about quick information. So make that part of your shtick where it's just quick, rapid-fire information. They can go to your site to find out what people are doing quickly and rapidly. They can get the other stuff too, but give them that easily digestible stuff because that's what they want.
This is the taste, the
Yeah.
low-end piece.
Right.
Where the audio series might be
Right.
more back-end or more higher.
Yeah.
In funnel.
Yeah, and you can even have ask for quotes from social media from all these people, and then just randomly tweet those quotes, like at Dan Nickerson says this about social media with a link to your site, and you could just randomly tweet those. If you got 100 quotes, just tweet one a day to get people interested and buzzed about your product. But yeah, find a way to focus people for business. Deal with it. People that don't have the time, people that want quick information. You can have the advanced audio series. You can have all that stuff. But if you're on your blog, if you can give these rapid posts with a link to a form, or please comment with your comments below, and then use those comments to generate more information and more ideas. He's having plate number 2. Okay, does anybody else have a question? Yes. Sure. What's your name? Sebastian? Yeah.
I'm French.
Okay.
And I work in the French market, but I see an opportunity in the internet marketing niche in France. There's no Google, no yes, on the service, nothing yet is really done to help people market on the internet. And so I want to work into that market, but there's so much to be done that what I need is like an angle.
Right.
And I'm still trying to find an idea of how I can break into a specific part of the niche or
Right.
specific angle. And
For the French market.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, what he's doing is he's trying to, the internet marketing in France, or in the French language, is not very widespread. So he wants to basically bring the internet marketing world to the French people? Yeah. So, I mean, the best way to start would be blogging, I would say. You know, if you can teach them how to create a WordPress blog, if you can teach them how to start putting their content on the web, get them easily doing that, talking about themselves. You know, from there you can attract them to different methods. You don't want to overwhelm them with the money-making aspect of it. You want to bring them into the social medium, the WordPress medium, to get them to start doing content. From there, you can start teaching them how to monetize the blog. So step one is getting them on the web, whether it be through Blogger, so it's free. So hey, start a community site. You know, you can start a community site now with WordPress. You can start a community site with Joomla. You can do a forum or whatever, but I would stick with something like WordPress and basically create them, show them the translator plugins that you can use with WordPress, so you can instantly translate your blog into dozens of languages. You know, and that's the easiest way to get started. So they make sure that they have a blog. You can even design a blog or have a custom WordPress theme designed to appeal to the French market that automatically has the plugins that have the different languages and have different features or widgets that might appeal to the French market. So you know, every culture is different. So I don't necessarily know what's going to appeal most to that market. But if you do, and if you have some other friends that are tech savvy, you can maybe work and find out and start polling people, or find out where they're hanging out now online, and get them to participate and to give you feedback. But I'd start with blogging and build from there, because that's the easiest way. WordPress is free, Blogger's free. You know, get them online and then get them on your list, and then you can market them. As you learn more about the business, you can start slowly bringing it to them, but don't overwhelm them. Get them started slow. Yes.
Sebastian and Dan, I just wanted to add to what you said. You mentioned setting up a WordPress theme of your own. One of the most powerful SEO tools you can do is set up a free WordPress theme and put the link to your site about social media or blogging or whatever in the footer, because most people won't remove those links. It's legal to remove them, most people don't. So if you put a site link with your keywords in there on the footer of that theme, everybody who installs that theme will give you a link back to your site. It's an extremely powerful way to build a really quick page rank.
And what's a little bit evil is I did that one time a few years ago, and I put a little JavaScript link, so I controlled all the links.
Oh.
So basically, there's a little JavaScript in the footer that I could rotate the links anytime I wanted to on the theme. And I didn't end up selling a lot of them, but I'd actually had an idea for an affiliate idea. As a promotion, my top affiliate for a particular product would get their link on those WordPress blogs. That was kind of a strange sort of twist on an idea there. Anybody else? Questions? If not, we'll wrap up. I'm gonna do my little close here. Tell you what to have to offer. Let me grab a little sheet over here.
Free iPart for everybody.
Yes. So, most of my time, obviously, I am doing full-time work for Joel, and I have, you know, my own businesses on the web, which I'm sort of branching and removing and getting out. I'm trying to focus everything into like a couple of websites that I own. So I sort of put together this package with this idea, and this package is available online as well. I have a link I can give you. But I call it the $1 Million Idea Package. And literally, it's just a 1-hour phone consultation with me. And I will talk about any ideas you want. I'll help you develop an idea that you already have. I can help you with sales copy. I can help you with everything. You know, not only do I come up with a lot of ideas, Joel will tell you I do all the launches. I write most of the copy. I handle all the launch. I handle all the code. I do all the web design. I do a majority of the graphics for every launch that we have. It's pretty good. So normally, you know, I'm responsible fully for the launches for everything we do. But we have a new graphic guy in-house now, so I don't have to do as many logos, but I do quite a bit of the buttons and other stuff. Anyhow, so I do all that. So I've handled $1 million launches multiple times, and I'm responsible for every launch that Joel Comm's company pretty much does.
Dan, can I say something?
Yeah.
There's a reason that Dan Nickerson is our VP of Ideas, and I think you guys have seen the reason why, and he came to me about doing this before he did it. I wanted to make sure that he would have the time to do it, and that the people who want to pick his brain are serious about having ideation done right, because Dan can do it. So I'm happy to lend him to whoever who's going to take advantage of that, because he's put together something really special.
So, thank you, Joel, very much. So basically, there's a 1-hour phone consultation on here, and these guys bill me out at $500 an hour, and they'll tell you that, you know, sessions with can we tell what we charge for a session with us? We get $10,000 for a one-day session with our team. So, and I'm usually part of that whole package that comes with it. So that's a value of $497. Another thing I'm adding in is a Camtasia critique of your website. So not only your site, if you give me well, I don't know how much time I'll spend, because I could talk for 5 minutes, I could talk for 50 minutes. I don't know. So I'm not putting a time limit on here. But if you have websites, I will actually do a Camtasia, go to all of your websites, tell you what I would change, tell you how you can increase conversions on it, tell you what you're doing wrong, tell you maybe where the action steps are wrong on the site that'll increase your conversions. So I'll throw that in. I put a value on that as $200 because, like I said, depending on your site, it could be me rambling really quickly for 5 minutes, it could be me rambling for 15, 20, I don't know. The next thing is I have a program that I started, and once again, I get ideas that I really want to do that not necessarily fit with our niche, Joel Comm's niche. And so I had an idea, and it's tied into some of my other programs. And I created a site called supportbucks.com. Supportbucks. Bucks, B-U-C-K-S. And the idea behind this site was I get people, who here gets customers that email and ask them basic questions every single day? How about internet marketing, right? Every single day. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to create a support-based affiliate program. So SupportBucks was the idea to create a help desk and a forum where people could actually refer others and earn a 50% commission. So for $9.95 a month, you can get a basic membership where you can go in a forum and ask any question, and I'll go in and answer it. Or one of my other members will go in and answer it. The idea being to build a support-based social network that had a small monthly fee where you earn a 50% commission. So next time someone asks you a question via email, you can say, hey, you know what? I've already answered this question on SupportBucks, or I know somebody will for you. Here's my link. And they go join up and they go ask the question in the forum or on the help desk system, which will come later, and you get 50% per month residual basis for their membership. So from that, then I started adding, you know what, there are lots of different bonuses and stuff I can add, so I have over 2 gigs of downloadable content from tutorials, videos, audios, PDFs, PLR, MMR. There's a gazillion amounts of stuff that are on the site. It's all done in a WordPress blog. I actually have a member system tied into WordPress, tied into vBulletin, which is, believe it or not, takes about 20 minutes to set up. It allows you to create a membership site with WordPress and with vBulletin and a member all tied into one, all integrated. So I can show you how to do that. But as a SupportBucks member, you get these downloads, you get access to the forum, you can ask any question, I'll go in and answer anything. Depending on my time, if you say, I really need a cool graphic for this, I mean, I've made headers for people. I've done other stuff for people, depending on my time, because to me, that's relaxing. You know, I don't really relax too often, but when someone says, hey, can you help me make a header for my site, I find that relaxing to make somebody a header for the website. I've never charged. Yeah, I've done it before with, I've done it before with Twitter. Somebody randomly Twittered that they needed a header, and I just, 10 minutes later, I sent them back a header. And it's just, they're like, what? How much do I owe you? I'm like, don't worry about it. So I like doing that stuff, but Dan Nickerson, @Dan Nickerson. And so, anyhow, the idea behind SupportBucks was to hopefully find a lot of other people like me who want to help other people, but they also want to earn 50% monthly for referring people to the service. So you can actually bring people in and help them through that system. So it's just starting out. There's like 70 members now. But there's a basic membership for $9.95 a month, and there's a premium membership for $19.95 a month. And basically all the premium downloads that I have, and I upload like one every 3 to 4 days, there's some huge course that has MMR or PLR rights, a huge video series. I mean, there's, like I said, there's over 2.5, 3 gigs now of content on there. You can download educational stuff you can add to your offers to increase your conversions. Anyhow, so I'm throwing in a 2-year SupportBucks membership on that. So now you get the 1-hour phone consult, you get a Camtasia critique, you get the 2-year SupportBucks membership. In fact, you know what, I'll give you a lifetime membership in SupportBucks. So value on that 2-year membership is $479. That's the actual value. And finally, this is the craziest thing, and I don't think anybody's ever done this at a conference, and this isn't just hype. I am trying to get out of the internet marketing business. Does that sound crazy? Because we're doing so many cool things in so many different businesses that I don't want to focus too much time. I want to keep Support Box and Newbury Report and this last site I have. And you'll love the name of this site because I love it, and I came up with it at a conference. I was listening to, what's his name? I can't remember the guy's name. Big marketer, Rich Sheffrin's friend, the older guy. Why am I forgetting his name? Jay Abraham. Jay Abraham talked, and he was talking about, little guy, just a little guy in marketing. Sorry, Jay. He was talking about business liquidations, and he kept talking about how he's made a lot of money liquidating businesses. And I said, wow, someone should do a site called Site Liquidations, or Site Liquidators, or Site Liquidator. I immediately got up, left, went back to the room, before I had my iPhone, and I registered siteliquidators.com. And I have Site Liquidator and siteliquidators.com. So what I've done is I've listed a lot of the domains I'm willing to part with on this site. I will give you any domain that's on there as part of this package. There are domains on there that earn different amounts of money. There are domains that I've listed for $1,000 on there. There are membership sites that are on there. There are niches. There are all kinds. There are a few other sites I haven't put on there yet. I have a site called theguidesdog.com. Anybody in the dog niche?
Well, there's one under the table right here, Miss
I know that. That's what I was waiting on. I have an ebook, How to Make Your Own Homemade Dog Toys. It's an ebook I had written a while back. I'll throw this. Now, it's a ClickBank product. It has a website. It has a forum. I'll throw this in the package if anybody wants that site. And it's going to be first come, first serve. Anyhow, the value on this is up to $1,000. So anyhow, the total value, once again, I know I had to say this before, total value of $23.97, but it's $4.97. So if anybody wants this package, it's $497. You get an hour of me, Camtasia critique of any sites you want. Whether it's 1 or 10, I go through rapid fire and go through the sites. 2-year Support Box membership, which I'm making a lifetime membership. I forgot the Newbury Report advertising package. I forgot another package. The other package I forgot is my Newbury Report site. Depending on what your site is, I will post, if you have a blog post or an article about your particular niche. This is a PR3 site, which now I'm pointing a lot of my traffic to, and I'm starting to build it up. I'll give you a blog post with 2 keyword targeted links in the blog post, and I'll give you a 1-year rotation of 125 by 125 ad unit in my sidebar as part of the package, value $200. And that's basically the offer. There's nothing else. So that's it. $497. And that's it. Anybody have any questions?
I missed the newbie.
Newbie Report it's a newbie blog that I'm building out now, and I'm going to focus. I've taken all my stuff, condensing so that if I have to spend time, I spend 45 minutes to an hour a day working on my own stuff. New Report's going to be something I've already auto-filled posts. Here's an idea for you real quick too. I have Aweber, I have 20 different lists with autoresponders content that I built up over the years. So what am I doing? I'm sort of canceling out all those old lists because I'm selling those sites. I'm taking the content, which is all original content from my autoresponder, and what am I doing? Plugged into my WordPress to auto-post. So basically, I already have all the first 30 to 40 posts that are written that will just auto-tweet out. And so basically, the Newbie Report is just going to it'll become a Newbie Authority blog once I start linking some of this stuff. It's going to grow. It's already PR3. So you can get a post in there with 2 keyword backlinks, and you can get a 125 by 125 banner ad on the sidebar for a year. Rotated on the sidebar for a year. And that's it. Sure. And we're done. That's it. Thank you very much. And autograph.